All right, welcome back. We are so happy you joined us again. Let's continue our conversation in Genesis.
Yes.
Did you want to talk about the next part?
Which is
when Hagar and Ishmael were sent away?
I can if you want. I know that she caught them making fun.
Yes.
Yeah, she would catch when Isaac was growing up, she saw them making fun of them, like not pun, but like laughing and stuff. And so she asked for them to be sent away. So they were sent away. Abraham did not want to send them away.
And really, can you blame him? I mean, that's his son.
No, he was very heartbroken about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they were sent away. And I know at one point they felt like they didn't have enough water.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. During that situation, now Sarah caused this entire situation. Mm-hmm. This was all her doing. Mm-hmm. But she was so upset that they were even there at that not party, but it was like a feast.
Yeah, he became of age.
Yeah, and
he weaned.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she became like so enraged. She didn't even call them by name.
No.
She was, hold on, I have it here. She called them slave woman and her son.
Yeah.
But like you said, now, Ishmael, who's about 16, I think they said at the time, she was like, no, I don't want him here. I don't want him to have any of the inheritance. Nothing. So we read in Genesis chapter 21, verses 12 and 13, but God told Abraham, do not be upset over the boy and your servant. Do whatever Sarah tells you, for Isaac is the son through whom your descendants will be counted. But I will also make a nation of the descendants of Hagar's son, because he is your son too. Which, that's God's love. He wasn't going to abandon those two. And Abraham was obedient.
He was.
He had that trust and the faith in what God was saying, that everything was going to be okay.
Yes.
And so, Abraham kind of packed them up, sent them on their way. And it said that in verse 14, it said that they wandered aimlessly in the wilderness of Beersheba.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, and just that Hagar and Ishmael were dying.
They were. That's sad.
It is sad. But we see this is the second time that God has spoken to Hagar after she's left. After she's been kind of out in the wilderness on her own.
Right.
Because we learned about that in Genesis chapter 16, verse 13, when God spoke to her, and then she said, you are the God who sees me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go over this one chunk of verses, because it's nice. It's just really nice. It's Genesis chapter 21, verses 15 through 21. When the water was gone, she put the boy in the shade of a bush. Then she went and sat down by herself about 100 yards away. I don't want to watch the boy die, she said as she burst into tears. And that's heartbreaking.
Oh, can you imagine?
Can you imagine being with your son, your 16-year-old, and you know what's happening. You know it's not good.
Yeah. And his whole life, he was the son.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, even though she wasn't that nice to Sarah,
mm-hmm.
still that his whole life was wonderful up to now.
Uh-huh.
I just can't imagine.
No. Now, if we keep reading, but God heard the boy crying, and the angel of God called to Hagar from heaven, Hagar, what's wrong? Do not be afraid. God has heard the boy crying as he lies there. Go to him and comfort him, for I will make a great nation from his descendants. Then God opened Hagar's eyes, and she saw a well full of water. She quickly filled her water container and gave the boy a drink, and God was with the boy as he grew up in the wilderness. He became a skillful archer, and he settled in the wilderness of Paran. His mother arranged for him to marry a woman from the land of Egypt.
And that's where his mother was from, right?
Was it Ishmael that they said was going to be a firecracker when he grew up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. It says right here in our notes, what happened to Ishmael and who are his descendants? Ishmael became the founder of a large tribe or nation. The Ishmaelites were nomads living in the wilderness of Sinai and Paran, south of Israel. One of Ishmael's daughters married Esau, Ishmael's nephew. The Bible pictures the Ishmaelites as hostile to Israel and to God.
Even though God saved
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he has a plan.
Yeah,
so
he has a plan. Yeah.
But
well, I'm going to move on a little bit.
Yes.
Now later in chapter 21, Abimelech comes back into the story.
Yeah, there he is again. Yeah.
And visits Abraham. He wanted to make a kind of a permanent treaty with Abraham.
Yeah.
And, where Abraham would swear not to deceive him or his descendants. And, Abimelech had been loyal to him, and he kind of wanted the same in return. Because if we remember, Abimelech didn't banish him from the land.
Right.
He, he said you could live here on the land. So, and I think he saw what, how close he was to God.
Right. Yeah.
And then in the notes, it said that consider for a moment that God works through people in spite of and often through their shortcomings. As you pray, put into words your desire to be available to God. You will discover that his willingness to use you is even greater than your desire to be used.
Wow.
That's neat.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Greater than our desire to be used.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful.
So even with all of our shortcomings, God is going to use us.
Yeah.
Mm.
And our shortcomings, we think we have shortcomings. That's what we think.
Mm.
But God, in his eyes, we don't have shortcomings.
Mm.
So he's going to use us to what we have. He doesn't see them as shortcomings, and he's going to use us to the greatest that he knows.
Mm-hmm. So God doesn't look at everyone and say, "Oh, there's Robyn. She's this and this and this is wrong with her."
Right? No.
Yeah.
Never.
Just to have it, explain it to everyone to have them understand. God doesn't look at you like that.
No.
All right, you guys, join us next time as we continue our discussion in Genesis. We're very excited.
Yes, we are.
All right, we will see you next time.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.